Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully, this is the second time you're hearing us, but if this is the first time, this is going to be myself, John Thomas, aka the Bodybuilding Vegan, and we also have on Miss Meatless Muscle. Her real name is Brooke Sellers, and so this is going to be technically episode one. Super excited for this. It's a topic that I have admittedly been a bit ignorant to. This is the month of January, and so we're going to be celebrating Veganuary. Since I've never celebrated before, Brooke, would you like to maybe fill in a little bit about what this is?
Yeah, so typically in January, um, a lot of people launch these campaigns called Veganuary, where we really try to educate people on plant-based eating and advocating for animals so that we can hopefully transition more people to a vegan diet. So in essence, it's just a way to spread positivity and light on being a vegan and how easy it is, how affordable it is, and just reach out to the community. So we wanted to pack in a ton of value for everyone today and give as much insight as we can on how easy it is to transition as a vegan, mistakes we made, so that you don't have to make those same mistakes, our best tips and tricks, overcoming criticism because so many people deal with that when they transition. And basically everything you need to know. Vegan 101. This is it. This is episode 1. I think it's pretty fitting.
All right, Vegan 101. So people may or may not know this about me, but I went to college mostly online. I also dual enrolled a little bit. So I kind of missed some of the high school experience by dual enrolling. And then I missed almost all of the college experience by working full time while going to school. I also feel like I kind of missed the whole Veganuary experience because when I became vegan 17 years ago, there wasn't really any social media for it. I mean, I was in middle school, so I wouldn't have I might have had a Facebook back, a MySpace. Oh wow, I'm dating myself. Anyways, I didn't have people that I could really share this with. I was one of the few vegans that I knew that I didn't even know this existed until a couple of years ago. So that's why I felt like I was relatively behind schedule here. Whereas I think with your journey to veganism, if I'm correct, social media was already popping by then, and like you had kind of a space there. So I'm coming into this kind of blind. Like I'm late to the party. So you can tell me what do we do for Veganuary? Like, do we party? Do we celebrate? Do we post? What do we do? Like I'm clueless. Treat me like I don't know anything.
Yeah, so I would say for us, as influencers, I think it's a great time for us to educate our followers and educate people on how to eat vegan, address some of the common misconceptions. I think it's a good time for us to celebrate because, I mean, we can mark all the years that we've been vegan, and I think that's something to be proud of. But I think it's a really good time for us to take advantage of, all the people who are transitioning and really just educate them and show people how easy it is. And, for people who are transitioning, this is your time to make mistakes, to fail, to try something new, to be open-minded, to make new friends, follow more people, and get involved. So, there's so many different things that you can do. Um, but I feel like this is a perfect time for people who are just transitioning to a vegan diet to, embrace change and to make mistakes, learn from them, get better, surround themselves with positivity, and learn from other people.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it's the beginning of the year, so we got a lot of people doing New Year's resolutions type things anyways. Maybe willing to try something that they hadn't before. I mean, I know from myself, I tried being vegan for a week and it has now almost been 18 years. So for me, I didn't know that it was going to happen. So maybe somebody's listening and they want to try it. I think there's a ton of resources out there now that I didn't have when I came into this. I think also maybe a slightly different social stigma. I was bullied some for being vegan, but I feel like that happens on a whole a little bit less now. I think people are seeing it's got a lot of different aspects. There's vegan for well, I guess we could get into that. Vegan versus plant-based.
Yeah, that's a
That's
great topic because plant-based is huge right now. It is it's blown up. I mean, you went vegan way before I did, but even when I went vegan, it still wasn't as common as it is now, and so many people are plant-based now, but there is a difference between plant-based and veganism. Veganism is an ethical movement for the animals. So, I think it's kind of like you can be plant-based, but that may not necessarily mean that you're vegan. But you can't be vegan without being plant-based because plant-based, you're kind of like it's like this wishy-washy. I don't wanna make it sound like, people aren't committed or anything like that, but it's just a little bit, um, I may have some fish sometimes, or I may have an egg here once in a while, but mostly my diet is plant. It is plant-based with some animal products maybe scattered throughout here and there. But if you're vegan, like, you're doing it for ethical reasons, so it doesn't matter to you if it's a holiday, your birthday, you're out of the country, you're traveling, you're not gonna eat an animal. Um, that's
so
the biggest
yeah,
distinction.
a easy way to think about it for me is people say have the saying vegan for the animals. So if you're
Mhm.
vegan, you're doing it for the animals, not necessarily yourself. There's not going to be any time where you're like, well, I'm not vegan today. That might be a lot of pressure for some people. But usually if you've come to this decision because you value animal lives and you value spreading kindness instead of pain and torture, you're going to go towards that vegan route. But plant-based, maybe it's just a solely a health thing. You don't wanna have cancer, you wanna lower your HD or your LDL, your bad cholesterol, raise your HDL, things like that. You could be plant-based without any ethical consideration behind it. Maybe you're plant-based, but you still love to trophy hunt and still go shoot animals and take their heads back home and put them on your wall. Um, that's one option. So, another thing, like a plant-based person might, again, for their health, be plant-based, but then wear leather products, whereas a vegan would not at least purchase directly a leather belt or something like that. I feel like there is a lot of gray area. I purchased a 2005 Honda Accord and it had leather seats. It was used. So it wasn't like directly supporting the cow leather manufacturer. And I feel like another thing we had spoke about off air is like what does vegan mean to us? And to me it's about doing your best. I mean, we're not all perfect. We all make mistakes. I will admittedly probably kill some bugs on the way to the gym just walking and driving. It's gonna happen. My heart is in, where I believe the right place, and so that's my decision for veganism, and whether or not you're vegan or plant-based, there's tons of resources out there, so what I've seen is a lot on Instagram. You could reach out to one of us directly if you need help with setting up a meal plan or something like that. I mean, I've been building my own meal plans since I was 13, so I've got a lot of experience. I know Brooks worked with like 500 people, so she's got a lot of experience there too. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah, I think that's important too, and that's always been important to me when I transitioned to being vegan, was to make people feel like I wasn't judging them. Um, I don't think any differently of them. I respect everyone where they're at in their journey, and especially when you're a new vegan, you're just gonna make mistakes. Like it's a lot of information, and you're basically stepping out of this paradigm that you've been accustomed to your entire life, growing up thinking we need milk, we need meat to be strong, we need it to be healthy. All of the animal products, I mean, and it's in everything, like cosmetics if you're a woman. I mean, it's insane how many products are anti-vegan. So I don't expect people to be perfect right off the bat. And I even like 5 years down the road, cuz sometimes you get comfortable, you stop reading nutrition labels, and then bam, something, comes in your pantry that's not vegan. So, I think it's just about, you know, e- embracing the journey, learning from your mistakes. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to do better than you were doing, and that's really not hard. It's not hard to just make the right choices when you can. And like your car, for example, like I don't see an issue with that personally. Um, to me that's different than going out and buying like some Gucci leather shoes or something, you know. We need cars. You know, there's not really much you can do. There's really not a way around it. Um, but you just have to do the best that you can, and you're making such a big impact. So it's like, you know, weigh the pros and the cons. You're making such a big impact with what you're doing. You have so many clients that you've helped over so many years. Look at what you've shown is capable in the bodybuilding world. I mean, even people who haven't worked with you directly and are influenced by you through social media. And you add up all of the times, all of the meals, and you eat a lot because you're a big dude. All of the meals that you could have had an animal and you didn't, and you've made a huge impact.
Thank you. I often don't stop to think about it. I just keep moving forward, but taking a moment to like realize that, yeah, we collectively, anyone that's vegan is making a difference, a big difference. I can tell you just by going to the grocery store or seeing any restaurant offering vegan products, it's because there's been a demand. We have created a demand for it, and that means that we've made some changes happen. If a company like McDonald's wants to make a vegan burger and it's just to make more money, I really don't care. It's better for people's health. It's better for the animals, better for the environment. At the end of the day, even if you're money driven, if you're moving in the right direction, you're still moving in the right direction. And you will make mistakes. Companies
Mhm.
will change their products over time. So I've tried like new flavors of things that were vegan and then they changed. Or I sometimes you just make a stupid mistake. I've been doing this forever and I bought some supplements the other day and they had animal products in them. And it's like, damn. You know, you'd think I'd be a vegan pro at this point, but I still make mistakes. So again, like you said, it's what are we doing with what we can, trying to do our best. I think saying that everyone's on their journey is pretty helpful because I was not vegan before I was 13. I think you were 18, 19,
I was like 20.
20. So
Yeah.
you were 20. Brent, the most militant vegan that I know, the one that creates these Hugs Not Nugs hats and all the One to Save Many stuff. He wasn't vegan until 40 years old. Not to date him, but he had his whole life before becoming vegan. Now he's got like a whole separate half of his life. So everybody's on their journey, and I'm not trying to push anyone out. If you're going to be plant based, or you're going to be 75% vegan, or even 25% vegan, we got my friend Alex Newton. He's not vegan, but he eats vegan for a lot of meals just because one, he's lactose intolerant. That's a whole nother discussion. But two, he likes it. And he's been adamant that he won't go vegan. Okay. But he's vocal and he puts it out there that he's having a plant-based meal. That makes a difference. So I think it is all about making a difference. And that kind of wraps it back into Veganuary. And I want to ask, I already know the answer, but for you, how has Veganuary impacted your life? What has changed around you? Has anyone you know changed because of Veganuary?
Yeah, so typically, I mean, because I've been doing this almost 4 years now, so every Veganuary is a really good time for, my coaching and my business because I get so many questions, I get so many curious people who, are really interested in transitioning, which is great because I feel like since it's this time where it's like, "Okay, everybody's a beginner, everybody's new, let's just try it," more people are willing to try it, so a lot of people come out of the woods and they want to investigate and ask questions and give it a try, which is great. Last year, 2022, since it's 2024 now, I made a Veganuary post and it was just giving a couple helpful tips. And of all people, my mom was like, I saw your post and I think I'm going to try it. And I was like, "Okay,
Ooh.
awesome. Yeah, do it." And I'll be honest, I know my mom's gonna listen to this, but I had low expectations because my mom is kind of that person who she's just like,
Uh,
she sets a goal, she does really, really good for a while, but then she kind of falls off. And I'm so, so immensely proud of her because she has stuck with it and she's only gotten better and better. When she first started, she was like, "I'm not vegan. I'm plant based. I'm just plant based. You know, I may eat a turkey. I may eat a chicken here and there. You know, but no cows, no pigs because they're cute and they remind me of Chief, which is my dog.
Mm.
So I'm like, okay, cool. I can do that. You know, and now she's at the point where she will literally, argue with people who try to say, "Oh, well, the other day, like my brother was asking us, "Oh, well, what about the mock meats? I just don't know how I feel about those mock meats and if they're healthy." And my mom's like, "Well, they're certainly better than the processed meat products, which also have saturated fat and cholesterol. Ours does not have all of that stuff, so you can argue it may not be healthy, but it's certainly healthier than what you were eating." And I was so proud. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like not only now do you live the lifestyle, but you can back it up and you know your facts and it's awesome." So that was one crazy success story for me from Veganuary, and now I totally believe in it, and every year I'm going to blast Veganuary because I you never know, like it might change someone's life.
Let's blast it. Let's change as many lives. It'll definitely change some animals' lives, but also
Yeah.
people. Let's go, Brooke's mom. That is freaking awesome. I had not seen it like that. I just thought it was like a little silly, like vegan way of celebrating. But now seeing, I mean, I knew this before this episode because we talked yesterday, but seeing that it has had this big of an impact. I mean, think about it. Your mom, and then she's willing to advocate on top of that. It's like an exponential ripple effect. I was able to get my brother to go vegan. My mom is still on the fence, and I'm like, "Mom, you're a mom. How can you advocate for taking babies away from others' mothers? Like, I don't get it." But she's close. She's like 99% of the way there. So maybe she'll have a maybe I'll send her. Mom, I know you're going to listen to this podcast, so maybe this is your sign. I'm putting you on blast. This is going out to the people. And anybody listening, don't be like me. Don't just be like, "Oh, I'm getting older. I don't know stuff. I'm gonna stick my head in the sand." Like, share this. Put this podcast out there. Tell people about Veganuary. Even if you're not vegan, go educate some people about Veganuary. Put it out there. Share it on all of the things. Like, help us grow, but also maybe we can help save somebody's life, save some animals' lives. I do genuinely wonder. I lost my dad almost 6 months ago. Time flies, and I wonder if maybe his cancer diagnosis might have come back differently had he been vegan or plant-based. And that's that's big. Like, we're talking lives here, not just animals, but also people. So shout out to Brooke's mom. Shout out to my mom
Yeah.
because I know you're gonna listen to this. Um,
I really do,
but
like I was telling you yesterday, I really do believe that in the future, the majority of people will be plant-based, whether you care about an animal or not. And I just have to accept that sadly because there's just cultures who just don't value animal lives like we do, and that's just how it is. But I do think that as unhealthy as the world is now with processed foods, GMOs, I mean how toxic the air is, the land is, I mean everything is going downhill and people are sicker than ever. Chronic illness is on the rise and I really do feel like the majority of people are going to be plant-based in an effort to save their health and save their life. I can't tell you how many people I've known, like, especially my clients, and a lot of people I do have the clients who come to me because they're junk food vegans and they're really struggling with their diet and they can't give up the Oreos or whatever it is, so they come to me. But I have a lot of people come to me because they had a health issue that made them go vegan and then they just need help getting in shape. Um, so I really and like my mom, for example, she had an aneurysm in one of her heart valves. It was the size of an orange. She had open heart surgery, and it was a really scary time. You know, she didn't know if she was gonna make it. We none of us thought if she was gonna knew if she was gonna make it, but she did. But that really woke her up because she was eating the standard American diet before. She wasn't very active, and she has completely changed her life since then. She's lost 55 pounds. She has gone completely vegan. She works out almost every day, 5 days a week minimum, walks, it's incredible. So I feel like when people are confronted with a health scare, people will change. And then I hope that the animals will follow, because now they have this new perception on the value of life, that maybe they can feel the same about a cow or a pig who is suffering. So I truly do believe that that is where the world is going. It may take several decades, but I think we'll be there for sure.
I think whether or not we want to, I don't think we have a choice. At the end of the day, there's no way the world can support eating meat at the same consumption levels that the United States has. Sidebar, Say Grace protein. I know they sent you some stuff. I know I tried some stuff last night. They have a plant-based, it's made from soy, protein product, kind of like little nuggets and stuff. They actually, I didn't know this until I talked to them today on the phone. They are sending vegan protein to third world countries
Oh,
where
wow,
the
that's
government,
amazing.
like the government for these schools and these kids was only able to feed them ramen noodles. So there was like almost no protein. So this
Wow.
company is sending vegan protein overseas, and it makes sense. It's cheaper and it's more sustainable than eating meat. And I think unless we just drastically cut the world's population, there's no way we're gonna be able to do this. So
Yeah.
it's just gonna have to change. Like even if you told me eating meat was healthier or whatever, like we can't do it. We don't have room for it. We don't have the space on the earth. Just like a random statistic, and then I'm gonna tie this back in. 85% of all birds in the world are on factory farms.
Mm,
You go to Africa and you watch all these birds on the Sahara or whatever. You go to the rainforest, you see all these birds. 85% of the birds alive are in a cage in a factory somewhere.
wow.
That is insane. So that just shows how big factory farming is and how much it is contributing to pollution and disease. If you look at most of the major outbreaks, I'm not going to say the most recent ones. I know there's certain things that aren't supposed to be said on YouTube or whatever, but they're mostly, if not all, from animal-borne illnesses that may
Absolutely.
have been able to have been avoided had everybody been following a plant-based diet. But anyways, let's get back to the real question here. So your mom is vegan now.
Yeah.
Where did she get her protein? How much protein does she get a day? How much longer does she have to live before she dies of vegan protein deficiency?
Yeah, so that's a good one, because those are all the misconceptions, right? That we're gonna be protein deficient, we're gonna be sick, we're not gonna have any energy, we're gonna be frail and weak. I think that's what everybody thinks of when they think of a vegan. And she does all the same things I do. She loves vanilla protein. Um, she's more into the mock meats than I am. I mean, I eat like you. I eat pretty clean. I try to stay away from those. So she loves like the Beyond stuff, like the Beyond steaks, Beyond sausage, that kind of stuff. She does love tofu, but yeah, I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions, is that we're going to be protein deficient, and it's so easy. It's so easy. It's really just it's not that different, except for you have to think about it. When you grow up eating the standard American diet, everything is centered around the meat. So if you have a steak or you have some chicken nuggets, or like, there's always some sort of meat, because that's just what makes the meal the meal. So the only difference, I feel like, when I transitioned to vegan, was you actually just had to think about, like, okay, well, what protein am I going to put in place of this? And that's really the only difference. Of course, if you're a physique athlete, you got to think about the carbs and the fat ratio. But if you're just a regular person who just wants to be healthier, like we said yesterday, you really don't even need to stress about it. It's Protein is so abundant. It's just a huge myth that has been perpetuated by the supplement industry to continue to push us to buy branched chain amino acids and protein powders. And we love protein powders. I mean, me and you probably consume more protein powder than anybody listening, but you still can get protein from your food. It's not hard. We just need a lot more, because we're training hard and we're trying to build muscle. But for the normal everyday person, you may not even need protein powder unless you're trying to change your physique. So it's super easy. Vegetables, starches, grains, they all have protein. And like I think the daily recommended by I don't know, the US guidelines like 50 grams or something a day. It's very low and that's so easy.
Yeah, not that I would necessarily. Oh my gosh, I'm breaking stuff over here. Not that I would necessarily recommend following the
True.
FDA for all, or the USDA for all their guidelines. But yeah, they say you need 50 grams. And if they are saying that, it's almost like that's probably plenty for most people. Maybe even more than some people need, less than others need. But the end of the day, if you come to work with me, I'm a coach. This is my thing. This is what I do. This is where I live. If you are not seriously lifting weights more than 3 days a week, trying as hard as you can to build your physique, tracking your training, like working your butt off, you don't really need to worry about protein. Like, the number of people that I'm out and about, they see me with like this vegan AF shirt and they're like, "Well, where do you get your protein?" I'm like, "I get 350 grams a day." "How much do you get?" And they're like, "Well, I don't know, but I eat meat." Okay, cool, but how much? Do you even know? Are you even concerned? No, obviously you're not. You're just finding ways to argue against veganism before even thinking about it. At the end of the day, unless you're a physique-based athlete, you don't need that much protein. Protein in some ways is not that great of a resource depending upon what you're trying to do. If you are starving to death, protein's probably not the best option because it actually takes a little bit of work to convert protein into usable energy. So you only get about 3 calories per gram, even though it's listed as 4 calories per gram. With carbs, you get 4 calories per gram, or fats, you get 9 calories per gram. And back to what Brooke was saying, meat is a part of every meal with the standard American diet. But if you dig a little deeper, most people aren't eating skinless, boneless, like chicken breast or tilapia or something like that. That's very high protein, very low fat. It is the steak or the chicken sandwich that's covered in oil and fat and bread. So if you're eating the standard American diet, yeah, you're probably hitting your protein, but you're probably hitting a lot of bad fats as well. So if you are thinking about making the change, or you're just concerned about the protein because you need to be, if you eat at least 80% unprocessed foods, so things like potatoes, oats, bananas, beans, vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds. You notice I didn't say like tofu or protein powder or anything like that. If you eat those, you're going to have plenty of amino acids flowing through your body and have no issues whatsoever being a healthy adult human being or a healthy child human being. You'll be healthy, probably the healthiest. Being a bodybuilder isn't necessarily healthy. So, unless you're trying to be a bodybuilder or really pack on some muscle, don't even worry about the protein. Just worry about eating healthy foods that you enjoy eating, a variety of healthy foods. It's not that hard. It's really not. When I first became vegan, it wasn't hard. I still, without even knowing anything about nutrition, I was kicking other people's ass in wrestling. I was like 14, vegan, didn't know anything about food. I just didn't eat meat. I didn't eat dairy, and I'd still wipe the floor. So, I mean, and all these kids that ate meat, whatever, I was still better than them. So, at the end of the day, like I said, unless you're trying to build crazy amounts of muscle, don't need to worry about the protein. For my lifestyle clients, I might give them a little bit extra just because it's filling if they're on like a fat loss journey. But other than that, for most people, just unprocessed plant-based foods are going to be great. And then, like your mom, eat the processed stuff too. I mean, it's no worse for
Mhm.
you than the animal stuff. At the end of the day, if my client is like, "Hey, I really want a cheeseburger every Friday," in my eyes, from like a health perspective, it doesn't really matter that much whether it's a real cheeseburger from a cow or a plant-based cheeseburger from Impossible. They're both kind of a cheat meal. They're both kind of junk, but we can have some junk and still be healthy. It's just, are you pairing that every single day? Is that how your daily diet is? That's where I would maybe delve a little bit further. Anyways, I
That's a good
digress.
point. That's a good point because I think that's a big mistake a lot of people make when they go vegan too. And I find this a lot with clients who first come to me. And this is kind of perpetuated by a lot of big wigs in our space, a lot of these doctors, plant-based. nutritionists who are in, What the Health, these big Netflix documentaries. And I've seen this. I can literally quote that Dr. Michael Greger said that you can literally eat whatever you want as long as it's plant-based, and you won't gain weight because everything is so full of fiber. You'll be full. It's low calorie, so you could just eat and eat and eat and feel satiated all the time, and you won't gain weight, which is absolutely not true. What he means, disclaimer, I wish we could put like a little asterisk by it. If you're eating whole foods is really what he means. But even then you have to be careful because you could go crazy with nuts, avocado, seeds. You could easily end up in a calorie surplus. If you're a small woman, small petite woman, you could easily end up in a calorie surplus on whole foods. But a lot of people transition, and I'm guilty of this. When I first transitioned, I did think like a vegan cupcake is probably better than a regular cupcake, but no, they're not. And that's what I know now, of course, years later. Like you, it's still a cheat meal. So if you go get a vegan pizza to me is still a cheat meal. It still has a ton of oil, fat, tons of carbohydrates, which, is that bad? No, but if you
No, no, no,
have
no, no. Don't take away my vegan pizza cheat meals. That's my
Look,
favorite
I
one.
love vegan pizza too. That is my weakness. So I get it, but yeah, it's like I think people think, "Oh, well, I'm vegan now and oh my gosh, there's vegan pizza and I could have that and then I can have vegan ice cream later and then I can have a I don't know, vegan burger, vegan burrito, whatever." And you're still in a huge surplus if you're eating all of that. So, just because something is vegan doesn't necessarily mean that it's healthy and you can eat whatever you want. Calories still do matter. They still matter. So, if you do want to be, because having a healthy weight is still part of being healthy. So, you do have to kind of control what you're eating. I definitely feel like we should enjoy all the fun vegan stuff that's out there, but in moderation. Because it's, to me it's unrealistic. If I go traveling, and I see some really cool vegan dish, I'm gonna try it because you just don't get that often, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But in
I
moderation, of course.
basically what I tell my clients is like, we're gonna build your meal plan off of things that are healthy for you. And then you are gonna get one cheat meal a week where you can go eat something that's unhealthy and not worry about tracking it, weighing it. Just go have fun. And then that way they kind of get both worlds. But like, yeah, we're not gonna have like an impossible burger for lunch every single day.
Yeah.
That's not ideal. You did say that vegan cupcakes aren't better than non-vegan cupcakes, but my mom's vegan cupcakes are out of this world. They're probably not any healthy for you. Probably even worse for me because they are better, so I eat even more of them. Um,
Yeah.
my mom just stopped making non-vegan desserts because even at parties where people didn't know and we put them out on two different trays, the vegan ones would just fly. And it's I don't know why with desserts especially. If you've never tried vegan desserts, you're missing out. Okay,
Yeah.
so I got a few things, few topics here. I'll throw this out there. If you're 33 minutes and 33 seconds, wow, what perfect timing into this podcast. Brooke and I do want to give back a little bit for Veganuary. So if you need a meal plan, feel free to message either one of us. Instagram works. If not, you can get our other contact info down below. We are going to do two things. We're going to give you 20% off of a meal plan made custom for you. This isn't just like copy and paste. We'll take all your information, your allergies, things like that, like things that a good coach should do. We'll make you a meal plan and we will also buy you at full price a shirt or a hat from One to Save Many, and 100% of that sale will go and be donated towards animal charities. So if you guys need some help setting up your new diet for the new year, or you need some coaching or something like that, 20% off, and you're getting a shirt or a hat. I got my hugs, not nugs, and it's gonna help an animal. It'll help you. So we're putting that out there. But
Yeah. Everything's customized. So, if you have any specific foods you love, we'll try to work it in. If you have anything, you have an allergy to, we'll leave it out. But yeah, we're here to help because it is a big transition for a lot of people, and I think for some people it can be a little overwhelming. It can be a little bit more complicated. So we're here to help and make it easy for you. So all you have to do, put your brain in the closet, just follow the plan, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I have a coach. I wanna put my brain in the closet and not have to think about it because it
Yeah.
just adds anxiety to my life that I don't need. So, we had put down nutrition labels. Let's go over nutrition labels.
Yeah, that's a
I
good one.
I feel like I have an unnormal perception of nutrition labels because I've either been vegan or bodybuilding for more than half my life on both of those. So, I've always looked at nutrition labels, but some people don't even have a clue. Like, what are you gonna find on there? What's gonna be like
Yeah. I'll tell you this, I'm the same because I've been obsessed with bodybuilding fitness for most of my life, so I've literally been reading nutrition labels since I was, like, 16, but I was shocked at how many people don't really realize how to read a nutrition label, like, how to know, is this a high protein food? Is this a high fat food? They don't really know just from looking at the nutrition label. So I actually put a guide in my meal plans to help people, and I can show it to you. You know, if you want to use the same template, because a lot of people don't realize it. Specifically for veganism, this is going to be really important because this is where you're gonna find out if it's really vegan or not. I think a
mhm.
lot of us assume the little V is gonna be on a package if it's vegan, and not always. So, it's kind of, double-edged sword here. You might buy something that's really not vegan, or you might miss out on something that is vegan, like Oreos, for example. They don't advertise that they're vegan, but if you read the back, um, they are in fact vegan. Terrible example as we're talking about health, but, whatever, that's an example.
It's vegan, it's healthy. Oreos, do it. You heard it here. Brooke told you to do it. If you get fat, it's not your fault, it's hers.
I'm sure they have something like iron or potassium or something in them
Yeah.
if we really looked, if we dig on the nutrition label. But, yeah, so, you can look, and it always, my hack, I don't know about yours, but my hack is to always just quickly look where it says "contains" in all caps, because
Mhm.
that's where they have to put the top allergens like eggs and milk. Um, so that's a
They
good hack.
they do, but they might not always. So
True.
that's what I suggest is like find a way to optimize your time. So a couple quick hacks, like what Brooke said. If it says contains milk, you're trying to be vegan, then you're done. Or if it contains dairy, or if it contains eggs, you're done. That's cool. You don't got to read anymore. You already know. Another really good hack for that is to go back a little bit higher. So the way the nutrition labels work is they typically have like calories are the first things, then you see fats, carbs, fiber, protein, some vitamins, and then the ingredients. But also back up there somewhere, probably I think between the fat and the carbs is the cholesterol. There is never going to be cholesterol in a vegan based food. There just isn't. Cholesterol is from animal products, whether that be dairy or meat. So if you're looking at a label and you're like, oh, I wonder if this is a vegan creamer or whatever, or a vegan meal, because it's got a lot of different ingredients. If it says cholesterol, even 5 milligrams, boom, then you know it's not vegan. That's a super quick, okay, toss it aside, move to the next. Then I'll go down and look, contains dairy. Okay, off to the next. Those are two things, but you will eventually, once you get to a food that doesn't have either of those, then you got to read everything because
Yeah.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but there will be
I'll tell you
things that
something.
aren't listed.
Are you trying to think of an example?
Yeah.
Okay, this happened to me literally the other day. I saw this can of green beans in the store, and they looked really good, and they were flavored. And see, I've made this mistake before, so I knew to look, but see, there was no contains anything, because in the contains, in all caps, that part of the nutrition label, they're only listing top allergens. So, meat products aren't really an allergen, so they don't really put that there. So I read the ingredients and it had pork fat, something like that. So I put it back. So that's an example of something that, you know, you may not expect to have an animal product in it, and it's only listed in the ingredients, so you do have to look, if it's like John said, look at the contains, check that box, look at the cholesterol, check that box, and then look at the ingredients and check that box.
Yeah. Usually, at least in the United States, I know this is different for people in other countries, but in the United States, if it has like a big V or vegan on it, you're pretty much safe. You can double
Yes.
check it if you want. You're pretty much safe. However, I have noticed, and it's still a step in the right direction, but it is annoying as heck. Someone like I could be making this up. Like Marie Callender's has like a pot pie and it says with Gardein plant-based meat. I'm like, "Oh,
Yes.
cool." But then it has real cheese. So it's not vegan. So
Yep.
again, read the label, figure it out. If you're gonna do this long enough, it's like learning a second language, the nutrition label language, and then it's pretty easy. You pick it up. I mean, I was doing it at 13. I can do it at 13. However old you are, however smart you are, you can do this. You got this.
And it sounds
Truly
I
can't.
feel like we're making it sound like a lot, but truly it literally takes less than 30 seconds to read. So it may sound like a lot, but you're just skim reading, so it's really not that much, you know. And
Yeah.
the other thing
I,
is with the plant-based movement, because now people are using plant-based as like a marketing strategy. Like
mhm.
plant-based is now it's a movement and people are using it, I think, to make something sound healthier. So I had a client, for example, she bought these plant-based I wanna say it was I wanna say it was chicken nuggets or something. It was like plant-based chicken nuggets, they were high protein, so she bought them. And then after reading the label, she saw that they had egg whites. So in the ingredients, they had egg whites, but the package and she sent me a picture of the package and it said plant-based, but it still had egg whites in it. So you have to be careful because like we mentioned earlier, plant-based has a lot of gray area, so they can call those plant-based because, I mean, they did have a lot of plants in them and they weren't made from actual chicken, but they still have an animal product. So if you're plant-based, those are good. If you're vegan, they're not good. So that's kind of where you have to be careful with the labels, but it's really not that hard. Once you get used to it, it takes less than 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, from my side, I don't think we're ever gonna be perfect. It's about making the changes that you're able to make and moving in the right direction. So, no judgment from my side if you make a mistake. I mean, I literally made one last week, so it happens. Or my dad, God bless him, he would always make a vegan version of whatever he was making. Sometimes it made no sense because like the vegan one was better, and I was like, why would you make both? But he put the vegan tuna salad on the counter and said, "Hey, it's on there if you want it." I took a big bite, and that was not like anything I had experienced in a few decades. And I said, "Are you sure it's the vegan one on the counter? Not like in a good way, but like this tastes foreign." And he was like, "Oh, no, I put that one in the fridge." And I'm just like, "Yeah, yeah, you did." So, I mean, you're gonna make a mistake unless you go live on some vegan island by yourself. And you know what? You do that, more power to you. But guess what? You're not changing anybody's lives. You're not walking around with a hugs not nugs hat or meatless muscle hoodie and showing it off that you're vegan. So I think this month, Veganuary, I'm gonna make a post. It'll be my first
Yeah.
Veganuary post ever. I don't know what it's gonna be, but it's gonna encourage people to maybe check this episode out and then also be a little bit more vocal. I feel like on my own journey, I think we all have different levels. When I know there's this stereotype of like the angry vegan that's been vegan for like 6 weeks and is shouting off the rooftops. I never had that because I was like the vegan in the closet. I was afraid to open up. I talked to my sister over the holidays, and she said she was bullied in school, and it kinda shocked me because she's objectively pretty popular and, like, she wasn't overweight or anything like that. Like, I had no normal reasons that, like, a kid would make fun of her, but she said it was because she admitted she was vegan, and granted, this was, like, 10 years ago. But it shocked me that it was still that way because I know that I had been made fun of a little bit, so I kinda kept my vegan journey a secret for a long, 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 long time. I didn't change anybody's minds. I kept it to myself. And now I'm starting to put it out there a little bit more. Obviously, like in my clothing and stuff, but now also in my conversations, but not from a place of judgment or from a place of yelling, but like a place of change. Look at had Brooke not been out there about it, maybe her mom never would have read that message or changed. So I urge and encourage all vegans or people leaning towards this direction, like put it out there. Put it out there that you're vegan, however you feel comfortable. That's how you can change the world. Think about it. Like if you get one other person to be vegan even half the time, imagine that entire lifelong worth of meals that you're gonna have impacted, and it is just like throwing a stone in the water, and there's a ripple, and how many people they'll impact. So I can only be excited for the future. I think we're gonna have to go plant-based eventually, but I also think we can move in that direction a bit faster with the right people pushing for it. So that's
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a note down. I'm gonna make a Veganuary post.
Do it. I was also gonna say, I think your sister's story is a really good segue into how to deal with criticism because I get messages about that all the time, and I even had a client who really, really struggled with it and was always messaging, asking me, "What do I say to these people? How do I deal with peer pressure? What would you say if you were in this situation?" So I'm kind of curious about you because you've been vegan forever, when it was not as common. And I think also being a man and being vegan also brings criticism. So I'm curious to hear your experience and what you would say to other people who are dealing with criticism.
That is a good point. I forget that. I forget that I'm a man. In some ways, I'm super privileged. Like, I get to pee standing up, but
You're
also
only a giant man.
I
How
don't have
could
to
you
look over my
forget?
back in the parking lot as much. See, because I was bullied at 16, I'm locked in that, like, 130
Yeah.
pounder view. That's what when I walk by a mirror, I don't see myself. I see this 16-year-old kid that just started working out that didn't wanna be bullied anymore. But, I think yeah, like I said, I forget that I'm a man. I forget that I'm this big. I forget that usually the people that ask me are bewildered. They're kinda like a deer in the headlights, like, "What? I get it. You're joking. You're joking that you're a vegan because vegans can't really be big." And I'm like, "Nope, I got 1, 2, 3 vegan tattoos. I'm a little bit too invested to not actually be vegan. I'm also wearing vegan socks, a vegan shirt, and a vegan hat. So yeah, I'm vegan and my hair is green. So what's left of it anyways. So I'm pretty comfortable in it now. I wasn't always. So I didn't tell anybody. Nobody knew. I had friends that like knew me for 5 years. And they're like, "Wait, you're actually vegan? I've seen you eat a ham sandwich." I was like, "Actually, it was tofurkey." So I didn't put it out there because I wasn't I don't know, I wasn't, like, confident in myself, and it kinda makes me a
Yeah.
little bit sad because, 1, I should have been confident in myself, and 2, I think this is a cause worth being vocal and open about and getting that conversation started. So now, usually, when people approach me, they are kind of bewildered, like, "Wait, is this a joke?" And then the next thing is, "Where do you get your protein?" The next thing is, "Can you really build muscle like that?" And that's usually where it goes, and then it either goes in one direction or where they're like, "Well, this only works for you because 'cause you're you, and it's never gonna work for anybody else. I don't care about learning more." Or it's like, "Wow, okay, so there are other ways to do this." I've had people change on the spot. Like, I had one kid approach me in a gym. He was, like, 14, and he followed me on Instagram, and he said, "Hey, my mom went shopping, and I told her, 'Get less chicken and let's try some, like, tofu in the tempeh.'" And I'm like, "Holy shit," like, from one interaction with this kid, had I not worn a vegan shirt that day or not had a vegan Instagram handle, whatever it was that he figured it out, might not have made even that one day's difference. So, advice, know your why. Are you vegan or are you plant-based because you love animals, because you care about the environment, because you care about your health, because you wanna leave the world a better place for your future kids or other people's future kids? Like, what's your reason behind it? And once you have a really strong reason behind it, it's a lot easier to be confident in it. I think for men, it might be harder because there is that misconception that you have to be a big, strong man and eat meat because men eat meat. When I think about it, for me personally, what defines a man? Like, think about even like a police officer. Like, often, I mean, I guess they're probably half men and women, but I'm male. So when I think of a police officer, I think of a man. What is his job? His job is to protect and serve and to protect the vulnerable, right? Protect those weaker, like be there as a servant to help those that need help. And I worked in law enforcement and I got ridiculed for being vegan. And I'm thinking, wait, isn't our job to like help those that can't help themselves, to help those that are weaker than us, to protect them? How does an animal any different? An animal is a prime example of that. And I think if you have that nature, like, oh, I'm gonna go protect animals, well then you're gonna be pretty good at protecting people too. So for me, I think it's a bit more of a challenge for men because there is somewhat masculinity tied into it. But at the end of the day, I think you are a stronger person by withholding violence, withholding anger. I have the ability to kill people or animals, and that's a little bit weird to say, but it's true. And I think I'm stronger for the fact that I choose not to, even though I can. So I don't know. I feel like I rambled a little bit there, but
I think
that's
that's some
what
good
it.
insight, yeah. I mean, I can say as a woman, now I'm a vegan woman, so I have a little bit of a bias, but I definitely think it's attractive that a man number 1, to me, anytime someone goes against the grain and do something different that, may not be a norm in society, but it's ethically what they believe in, I think that's attractive. So, to me, a vegan man being compassionate, um, like you said, being the protector, and then also just, giving a middle finger to society basically and being like, look, I know who I am. I know I'm masculine. I know what I got. I know what I provide. And this is what I believe in. So I'm not going to do that. To me, that is so attractive. So I know I'm a vegan woman. So maybe I'm a little bit biased, but, any guy out there, the vegan women will love you because there's not many vegan guys. Um, and then as far as criticism, for me, I haven't faced a lot of criticism. And I will say this, I do think with you and I, we have achieved a pretty fit, respectable physique. I think especially we're both a little bit above average, if I'll give us a little
I was
pat on
thinking
the back.
above average. I was thinking exactly that. Like, I'm
Okay,
not
good.
gonna say we're the fucking shit, even though we are, but we're just above average. But yeah, we'll take
Yeah.
it.
So I also think, like you said, the proof is in the pudding, so people don't really question it. And I'm like, I get the same. Like, I remember being at the gym one time and these guys approached me because I was just, I don't know, I was just lifting a ton of weight on the hack squat. And we just got to talking and they asked me like about my diet or something like that. And I just said, well, I'm vegan. And they were like, that's vegan? Or like, you're vegan? Are you kidding me right now? And I get that all the time. Especially, from gym bros. So I just feel like I haven't had to face a ton of criticism because I've just shown through example that it's possible. The only criticism I get is from like trolls online, which who cares? I mean, they're gonna if it's not veganism, they're gonna tell me I'm ugly or I'm fat or whatever. So it's like, who really cares? I feel like there's all these bots accounts to troll vegan pages. And my family was you know, kind of receptive. At least my mom was. And see, my mom is the backbone of our family, really. So with her accepting it, it was all good because I knew that there would be some sort of vegan option for me at every holiday. Uh, you know, my brother, his family, they don't get it. I mean, we had a vegan lasagna for Christmas and we told them, "Hey, we're having vegan lasagna." They're like, "All right, we'll bring Stouffer's." We're
Yeah.
not eating that vegan lasagna. They ended up trying it and loving it, and it was obviously better than the Stouffer's. I don't even need to
Um,
say that. Um, and but and really my grandparents don't understand, but they're in their 80s. They're just like from a different generation, so they didn't get it. They're also super religious, so they're like, they literally God put animals here for us to eat is what they believe. So they didn't understand why I didn't eat animals. But I'm like, you guys, you love your dogs. It's the same thing, but they just can't understand it. So that was a lost cause and they just don't understand it, but they respect what I do. They don't give me a hard time about it. So, really I don't have to deal with a lot of criticism and I would just say exactly what you said. Anyone who is dealing with criticism, remember your why. That is the best thing that you can do. And I think the best way to respond to criticism is always with positivity and education. Know your stuff. I read so many books when I went vegan. Proteinaholic by Garth Davis, How Not to Die. I could go on, but and there's even better books now. Robert Cheek just shared a book about, I can't remember who wrote it or exactly the title, but it was something about how to argue with a meat eater.
Yeah, how to like
I'm sure you've
win
seen it.
a vegan conversation or something like that.
Something
Yeah,
like that. So educate yourself because that was my plan. I'm like, I'm gonna have all of this in the bank. So if anybody comes at me and says, like, for example, a guy was telling me, oh, well, soy causes cancer. All right, well, I've got, 20 sources I can just cite off to you right now to tell you otherwise. So educate yourself. I think that's super, super important. And there's so many resources out there. If you don't want to read, you're not a reader, follow someone who shares a lot of information like me or John. Um, and I would say also, if they're not an essential person in your life, cut them out, honestly. You don't need that. It to me, it's almost the same as giving someone shit about their religion. Because essentially that's what veganism is. It's a belief system. I'm not hurting anyone else or harming anyone else because I choose not to eat animals. I'm not affecting anyone else's life. So if someone's giving you shit for being vegan, you don't need it. So if it's not your mom or if it's not, your significant other or whatever, it's maybe just a friend or somebody you see at the gym, like just cut them off. You don't need that. If they're your real friend, they will accept you no matter what. So cut it off.
if your significant other's giving you shit, cut them off too. No.
Yes, actually true.
um,
True. They should support you
you
going vegan, seriously.
come to vegans who lift for vegan advice, for lifting advice, but maybe not relationship advice. I don't know.
Questionable.
Questionable. You know what? You'll still be vegan. You might be alone. You might be happier, but you'll be
Go find
vegan.
a vegan. There's vegan dating apps. I don't think they're any good, but
I just hopped on Vegly. So anybody in the Tampa area or the surrounding 100 miles, I've actually met a couple cool vegans on there though, where like I'm like, we're not gonna date, but I'd be friends with you because you're vegan and you got some cool stuff. So I don't know. We'll see where it pans out. But I think Brooke did hit a big nail on the head. Guys,
good.
there's like 10 vegan women for every vegan man. You trying to
Yes.
hop in a new, is it niche or niche?
I
Niche?
say niche, but I've heard it
Okay.
niche, so I don't
I
know.
thought it was niche, but everybody gave me shit. Thanks, my family. Okay, niche. Get in the vegan niche. You'll find some vegan women. Anyways, I wanted to put it out there that anytime you do anything exceptional, if you have a big Instagram account, you're going to get some trolls. If you're a
Yeah.
bodybuilder, you're going to get some trolls. I get trolled both ways, front and back. For being a bodybuilder and eating 6 times a day, I get trolled. Oh, he's eating again. And then they're like, oh, and it's
Wow.
vegan. Ha. Like, if you do anything exceptional or different, you're going to get trolled. So if you're getting trolled, you're probably doing something right. Next, I had written a few things down. I was super lucky with my family. At home, I was safe. My mom and dad at 13 and well, 10 at vegetarian, 13 at vegan. We're like, okay, we'll buy you vegan food from the store. We'll cook it on holidays. And my extended family, oh, he's going through a phase. Ha, proved you wrong. But also, now when they talk to me, they're like, "We're so proud of you, man. Like, you have created this name for yourself. You've created this persona, this Instagram thing. You're a coach and you're vegan." So, like, whenever somebody says something bad about vegans, I send them to your page. And these are the same people that made fun of me 17 years ago or would drop jokes at family reunions 17 years ago. And now they're like, "Dude, we're proud of you." Like, and I know for a fact they had a preconceived notion of what a vegan was. You say vegan, they think of this. Now they think of me. And that brings me to the next point. If you're wearing vegan apparel or something like that or putting it out there, you need to hold yourself to that standard. I have a funny story. Could have ended badly. I have a friend. He may be somewhere on the spectrum, and I'm not trying to talk badly about anyone, but like this might excuse his behavior a little bit. I'm lifting weights. Weights are in my hand. Straps are on, so it's a little serious. And he bites my tricep mid lift. I love this dude. He's freaking awesome. If he's watching, listening, he knows who he is. I finished my set because I'm a bodybuilder, and then I got up and proceeded to beat his ass. Almost. Almost. I did not. I didn't touch him. I wanted to. I was close to, and then I looked and I'm like, "Nope. If I do anything, I'm wearing these vegan shirts. I'll just be another asshole vegan." So, Brooke was saying, like, you gotta be kind. You gotta be you can put your foot down and tell somebody, "Hey, do not do that again. It will end badly for you." Protect
So
your space.
my question is, if you eat the bodybuilding vegan's tricep, is it technically vegan?
No, I did not give consent. There was no consent given there. No, no. I think for vegan, there has
Not
to be
vegan.
consent. Yeah, not vegan, not vegan there.
That's
Well,
crazy. But yes, I do agree with you. The best thing that you can do is just to be kind and to represent in the best way that you can. To me, that's one of the most important things about representing veganism. One, I think two things for me. Number one, be fit, be healthy, because that is defying a stereotype. And two, be kind, be open minded, receptive, the things that are defying the other stereotype of the angry, judgmental vegan. So I
yeah,
definitely feel like responding with kindness, and even though that's just a weird situation.
it was so weird. It was so weird, and I'm glad I reacted in the way I did because when I finished this set, I had a different thought in mind, and he's been told before, but I told him very straight faced. I'm not going to repeat the words I said on here, but he knew. He got the message. The message was delivered. The last thing that I wanted to cover on this, because I'm sure somebody's listening. They're like, but John and Brooke, you guys are so far along on your vegan and fitness journey. I just started. Like, people are gonna make fun of me if I say I'm a fit vegan or whatever. Like, I'm not on your level. I can't be a representative for it. I hear you because I just went through that mental battle myself. And that might sound a little bit silly to y'all, like, oh, like this 200, anywhere from 220 to 250-pound man that's relatively strong doesn't think he is. Well, I just joined last year the one of the best bodybuilding gyms in the world, MI40, out here in Tampa, to become a better bodybuilder. And when I look around the gym, I'm often the smallest person there. There are some women that can almost outlift me on certain exercises, and probably some that can. And I am one of 2 vegans that go there. That's it. And the other one is a woman, and she's smaller than me, so she doesn't fully count on that side because, like, it's the big bodybuilders, the big men that I'm next to, and I try and stack up with, and I'm nowhere near them. I'm not pro. Most of the people that train at this gym are pro, and so when I go in there wearing a vegan shirt, I'm like, "Shoot, am I really doing the right thing? Like, am I showing everybody why they shouldn't be vegan because everybody's bigger than me?" And I struggled a bit with my identity and like with how I would. I'll be fully honest. I'd go to Crunch once a week so I could be back at a gym where I'm bigger than everybody, and then next day go back to MI40 and be usually the smallest guy there. But some things happened. I became friends with a lot of these people. Their perception of what a vegan was prior to me going there to what it is now changed. And the guy that was dating the vegan girl there, he even told me, "Wow, you're actually pretty big. If you can eat vegan, I can probably tell her that I can eat some of her vegan meals with her and not worry about losing my size." And so even on that small note, like he had a vegan girlfriend and he supported the hell out of her. He would cook her vegan meals and stuff, but he wasn't vegan himself because he was really concerned about bodybuilding. So in a way, I'm like tooting my own horn, but I'm also trying to say we're all at our own spot on our journey. And if we don't put it out there, no one will ever know. I could have just blended into this gym and worn a black t-shirt with nothing on it. Nobody would ever know. And no minds would have been changed. So I do think I am going to plug one to save many, one to save many.com. Uh, we donate all of our proceeds to animal charities, but I do think all these shirts that people are wearing, all the hats, all the hoodies, this has helped changing perception. Man, imagine if every single vegan, every single day, wore a vegan shirt. We'd find so many more friends. We'd change so many more minds. We'd get it out there. And so, yeah, if you don't feel like you're quite yet there, that's okay. You can still make changes. You can still have those conversations. You can still represent, and more power to you. So I just wanted to put it out there. It doesn't always get easier. You just get better. I'm at a better gym and I'm trying to get better, and it shook me for a minute, but I'm I'm pretty confident in it now. I love myself and I do my damn best.
Yeah. I think, I think especially if you are an athlete, it's so beneficial to represent veganism and tell people about your diet because you're changing the world's perception. And if you're not really ready to be vocal about it, I get it because I've been there, like you, where I didn't really want to talk about it before I owned my business. I just didn't really talk about it with people. And I do remember when I actually worked at 9 to 5, I worked at a bank and people would bring food in all the time and they would offer me stuff. And then, you just have to be like, well, no, thank you. I'm vegan. They're like, are you sure you don't want some? And, um, you just you have to stand your ground in the face of peer pressure. And I saw a great quote the other day, by some IFBB pro. And it was something like, if if you're continuing to be peer pressured, your no isn't hard enough. So, I think that's just something you have to remember. So, if people keep asking you, it may just be time for you to be like, "No, thank you. I don't eat animal products, but I appreciate you asking." And there's a nice way to do it. You don't have to be a jerk. You don't have to be mean. It doesn't mean that you don't wanna eat their food, it doesn't look good, whatever. It's not an insult, it's just you don't believe in eating animals. It's the same thing. Hindu people, they don't eat cows. So if you put, I don't know, beef jerky in front of them, they wouldn't eat it. And would you give them a hard time if they didn't want to eat it because of their religion? No. So it's the same thing. And I think people, just take the stigma out of it, follow your belief system. Once again, know your why. Know your why. You're not doing anything wrong. So no reason to feel bad about it.
Agreed. Yeah. And fuck fitting in. I tried to do that for a long time.
Yeah,
Like,
seriously.
it I mean, find your people. Like, do your thing, do what makes you feel good and sleep at night, and then see who else is around you when you're doing that. When I went through a breakup and my dad gave me some really good advice. He said, "Put your head down, go work really hard on something that matters to you. Do that for a few months or for a year, and then lift your head up and see who's around you." And I mean, wow. I think it was about a year ago that he said that, and I've moved to a new city, to a gym with some really great people. I have fully dove into this vegan online experience, hanging out with people like Brooke, Sean. It's really changed my life, and I think I'm where I'm supposed to be. And so, definitely reach out to other people. Instagram is for me. I know it's like a social media thing where you get to share your highlights or try and get followers and try and make money, depending upon if you're an influencer or not. But for me, the strength of Instagram has always been the networking and connections. 9 out of 10 of my friends are made online. That's just what it is. Why limit yourself to what's right next to you? Like, people even looking for coaching, like, oh, I really want a local coach. Not a problem with that. That's a fine goal to have, but you are limited to what is around you. You live in a big city like New York, or somewhere in like California, or maybe some of these bigger cities in Florida. Sure, you could probably find a decent coach there if you look hard enough. But when you got the whole internet, you can find people wherever, and you can find really good people. So, putting that out there, going over our list here. I think we've covered just about all the main topics. I kind of want to play a game. This is I'm putting you on the spot, Brooke, but
Okay.
we can play a game. Let's go over. I don't know why this just popped in my head. Let's go over like maybe non-traditional vegan items. I'll say one, you say one. We'll see who runs out first.
Oh, this is gonna
So,
definitely be me, but okay.
like Oreos.
Honey made graham crackers.
Do they have honey?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I
okay.
read the pack the other
Um,
day. At least the plain ones.
oh shoot, that's crazy because it's even got honey in the thing.
I'm pretty
Um,
sure.
okay, we're on to me now.
Maybe
Sour Patch.
I've already lost.
We'll keep going. The
Oh,
the
yes, candies.
non-honey graham
Okay,
crackers.
I got the candies.
We'll do candies. Okay, Sour Patch Kids.
Swedish Fish.
Oh, I was gonna do that. Gumdrops.
Dots.
Aren't those the same? Oh, man.
I don't know, but it's different, so I said it.
Twizzlers.
Crap. Airheads?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I'm looking around.
It's because I
Warheads.
had them for Christmas. Oh, man. Mm, I don't know, tortilla chips?
Yes, yeah, good point. Um, oh, I just had Skittles. Skittles, they're vegan now, right? I don't think they always were, but I think they are now.
I think they are.
Okay.
I hope we're not putting out misinformation.
Oh, man. Hey, y'all, this is a
Still
trick,
read the
a
labels,
test.
disclaimer.
Read the labels. I
Still
know,
read the labels.
Nutter Butters. Oh, oh, I didn't know this until recently. There are some Doritos that are vegan, the purple ones.
And, is it the Cool Ranch? It's not the Cool Ranch, it's
I don't think it's the Cool Ranch. It's like the taco,
Thai spicy or something?
Thai
I think
chili.
it's Thai chili, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Hmm, okay. Any others that people should know about? Trying to wrap my brain around
Mm,
this.
that's a tough one. I literally I made a vegan Halloween candy post, and I'm trying to rack my brain for everything that was on there, and I can't.
Ah, Sean got us. It's the spicy sweet chili Doritos.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's crazy to me.
That
Yeah,
is crazy. Those are really good.
he has the power of Google. Right now, we don't. So, what else? What was I gonna say? Yeah, there's a ton of, like, vegan food out there that you'll just be like, "I wonder if this is vegan," and usually it won't be, but then you read the label and you'll find it.
I yeah, surprisingly, most potato chips are vegan, and that's something that a lot because you always tell people you're vegan, and they're like, "What do you eat?" And you're like, "What? You've never eaten a vegan food? You've never eaten a potato chip? You've never eaten a French fry? You've never eaten an apple? Like, come
Yeah,
on,
come on, dude. Yeah, I
you
don't
eat
eat
vegan
vegan
all the
food.
time
Yeah.
too."
Bacon bits are often just soy protein crumbles. Yeah.
Yes. Why didn't I
They're
think of that?
double check, but, like, the cheap ones, they're usually vegan.
Yes,
So,
those are so good. On Christmas, we made a wedge salad with we made our homemade blue cheese dressing with like nutritional yeast, apple cider vinegar. I can't remember what else. It was by Nora Cooks, and then we put those little bacon bits on top. So good. 10 out of 10. Recommend.
of course, we're talking about food. Why else? Um, trying to
Always.
think trying to think what else would be Ritz crackers. Thank you, Sean. That's
Oh,
another good one.
really?
Oh, man, my brother used to eat sleeves of those, like, the
I could
whole
too.
box.
With peanut butter. So good.
Cookie butter is usually vegan. If you haven't tried it before, I recommend staying away because I ate half a jar over Christmas holidays.
I don't blame you.
Kinda had a little binging episode there. Also, my mom, she cooks a lot of vegan desserts, and she'll just go down, like, the cake aisle or the cookie aisle, I guess, and, like,
Yeah.
the pre-made mixes usually, not always, but usually are vegan. So it's
Yes, that's a
again,
good point. I saw a great hack. I found this on Pinterest years ago, and you basically take the Betty Crocker cake mixes and you pick a diet soda, and that's all you need, those 2 ingredients, and it makes the best freaking vegan cake. So, like, for example, you could do, like, I think it was, like, you did a chocolate with, like, a Diet Dr. Pepper, or you could do,
a
a
lemon
lemon
lime cake,
a
the
lemon cake with
Sprite.
a Sprite. Yes, so it was like that. It was so good. And, like, the consistency is fluffy and light. It's a great, great hack. Healthy? No,
Um,
don't put it in your meal plan, but definitely bring it to parties.
there you go. Sean said Hershey's chocolate syrup. That is another one.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
sugar-free. I lived off that
and
in
sugar-free.
prep and probably caused my SIBO.
Oh, and yeah, I I cut that out during prep. I haven't added it back in. Starburst. Okay, thank you, Sean. That's another good one.
Oh,
I
that's a
got
good
2
one.
more. Um,
What's your favorite?
the
Pink, red, yellow, orange?
see what Sean has to say. Pink. Ah, nice.
I'm a
Um,
pink Starburst too.
they have now the vegan um Hershey bars and the vegan chocolate peanut butter, what is that? Reese's, the
Re
vegan Reese's. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
have you tried them?
I actually
You've been in prep
so
for your
for
whole life.
NoCal, I was trying to help do, like, a comparison between the NoCal and the Reese's, but they're like, "Hold off, dude, don't do that, like, we don't wanna start, like, a PR battle," and I was like, "Yeah, I might say some out-of-pocket thing." I ordered some of the Reese's on eBay. I think I paid $14 for one little package because I was like, "I need the placement, I need the product placement," and it showed up in Florida in the middle of the summer, melted.
Oh,
So, didn't get a full taste test. It was like liquid when I picked it out of the driveway. However, for Christmas, I got a Hershey's bar, and I have not yet tried it, but it is sitting over there, and I actually have an extra high day today on food. Might give you all a taste test. I'll check it out. I'll
I've tried
if
both of them.
yeah,
I liked the Hershey's. I'm not a big Hershey's person anyways. The Reese's, really good.
okay.
If you I don't know if you have them close to you, but if you need me to send you some, I can send you some.
Cracker Jacks from Sean. I
No way, Cracker Jacks? Ooh, I used to love Cracker Jacks.
Fritos? Oh, Fritos are good too.
Oh,
Man,
yeah,
what
Fritos.
has this become? With the vegans who live to become the vegans who eat junk food. All right.
Yeah.
I feel like we should tie this back into something, some sort of substance, some sort of value. I'm gonna do
It's so
this because I
easy. It's so easy to eat vegan.
there it is. Yeah, it's easy. It may not be healthy. Usually plant-based people are trying to be healthy. So that's something to look into. Like, why are you doing this? However, I wanna tail it back into us just for a minute. Brooke, what is like one win so far you've had this week? It's Wednesday. So what's a win of the week?
What's a win of this week? Like personal win?
Yeah, whatever
Um,
whatever comes to mind for you, like a win for Brooke.
this might take some context, but I've just been feeling so good, like myself again this week. Full transparency, I started thyroid meds, and because me and John knows this, but for the people listening, I had some serious issues after competing with my gut, which led to my thyroid downregulating, and I just was not myself for probably a year, like really a whole year. I was really struggling after my last show, and this week I started some T4, and I I feel like myself. Like I just have so much clarity. I have so much more energy. I don't have as much anxiety. I don't feel as depressed. My workouts have been solid. I wake up and I'm ready to go. And it used to take me like an hour to feel like I could just sit down and work and be productive. I'd just feel like a zombie. And then even when I did work, I couldn't stay focused. And I mean, I'm like just flying through my work and getting stuff done. And I feel so much better. So that's a huge win for me. That's something I have prayed for months and months and months now. Um, so yeah, I know that was a lot, but
No,
that was it.
thank you for a number of things. One, thank you for getting your health together. Being your friend behind the scenes, it's been eating away at me that you're not as happy and healthy as you could be. So I knew this. I knew this for a long time. We're gonna figure it out. And by we, I really mean you and your coach. But moral support, I'm here backing you. I've been waiting for some good news. So this is fucking awesome. I think the transparency is really cool too. Brooke said she is taking T4. That's a thyroid medication. I would not take this without, the advice of a coach or a good doctor. You notice I
Yes.
said coach or good doctor. I guess
Yes.
good coach as well, but doctors don't always know everything. And blood work. Those one of combination of that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so T4, when you take this, it converts to T3, which is the active thyroid hormone that helps your body process energy and not only feel good but also burn fat, things like that. So it's not going to like be a magic fix. If your thyroid is already functioning well and you take T4, you're not just going to lose a bunch of fat or feel better. It's a way to help fix a problem that has been presented. So you can take T4, you can take T3, you can take some combination, but it's good to put that out there so that people know.
Yeah,
um
that's a great explanation. Definitely, yeah, see, I've had so much blood work done. I healed my gut first, so I think that's important too. So, and if you are feeling like crap, definitely I saw your post about getting labs done, which was awesome, by the
Thank you.
way. So if anyone out there, especially women, if you're feeling like crap, you don't feel like yourself, something's probably off hormonally. And it may not be your thyroid, it could be your testosterone, it could be your estrogen, it could be all kinds of things. Definitely go look at John's post because it was really good, very thorough. Blood work is so important, and yeah, get your labs done and see if you need a little bit of help.
Yeah. So if you think something might be off and you're not an expert on reading blood work, you need to find an expert, whether that's a coach or a doctor, and then you can tell your doctor to get your labs pulled through your insurance. Or if you have a coach, myself or Brooke, I can help guide you through getting it done privately. If you don't like going to the doctor's office, you don't want to talk to the doctor about your health, you don't want your insurance company to know, it's something you can do privately on the side and still take care of yourself. That's how I do it. So that is one option there. Reach out to either one of us. We'd love to help you. For my win of the week, I'm gonna give myself two. um, I checked in yesterday, my first check in 2 weeks, and putting a little bit of vulnerability out there. I had some days off plan. I had at least one binging episode in between my last check in and this one. And for me, a binge episode isn't like, oh, I had a little bit more than I should have that night. It's like I'm standing over the stove for up to an hour shoveling food in my mouth. And I almost don't know why. And it's almost like an out of body experience. And it's really difficult. It's really difficult to be this. I try to be this expert in this field, but I do suffer sometimes with disordered eating. So I was really nervous to send my check-in photos to my coach. I was like, he's going to be disappointed. He's going to be upset. He's going to take away my food. All these things that like were running around in my anxious brain. And I was like, you know what though? I did what I did. I need to hold myself accountable. It's Tuesday. I'm supposed to check in. Let's just do the damn thing, check in. And my coach said, you know what, you've done pretty well with your reverse. I'm proud of you. And holy shit.
Oh, that's great. I know that made you feel good.
Brooke gets it. If you haven't
Oh, yeah.
competed, if you don't have a coach, you don't get it. You don't get it. I don't really give a shit about what anybody says about me other than for my physique, my coach, for my financials, my financial advisor, things like if you're my mom, you're supposed to be in my corner. And if you're some random person online or a great friend online, you're still probably gonna have me in your corner. And if you're a troll, you're a troll. So I don't care what anybody thinks except for my coach. So when he says he's proud of me, holy shit. So that's my win of the week. I get about 3 of those a year. So starting off the year
Yeah.
strong, got one out of the way, and then the other win that I'm gonna put out there. I'm gonna try and I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it. Nope, nope. How do we do it? Oh my god,
Kinda
I'm
might have to
horrible.
stand up.
There we
There
go.
we yes, that's good.
Be
Yay,
the change.
I love it!
So,
It's my
um,
handwriting.
it's Brooke's handwriting. Backstory: we got Sean in the back room. He is also working with me on some PR stuff, including my website. My website needed to be overhauled. If you need somebody to help you with your website, Sean might be the man for you. And when he made the cover for my website, it had "Have the best day ever." I already have that tattooed on me, and above that, it had "Be the change." I was like, "Holy shit!" I had been thinking about getting "Be the change" tattooed, and so if it's on there and he thought to put it on there, maybe this is my sign. I was so amped up. I was going to go get it done on a Thursday. And full admittance, and we'll get into this in a future episode, I was tripping on some mushrooms. And I was thinking I might get another one like this where it says choose kindness, like in this cool, like shaded font. But something told me it needs more meaning behind it. It needs more meaning than just a cool font and a great saying. And so I was like, how can I tie this back into my personal life and some of my goals? And while I'm tripping, I message Brooke. I say, hey, can you write me a couple different ways of "Be the change"? Next morning, she's like, sure, I got you. And I'm like, I forgot I sent that text because I had been doing so many other things that day. I was still with my family. Like there was a lot going on and I had forgot to follow up with her. And that was like the first thing I woke up to. And then my sister was like, hey, we're going to go get tattoos today. Do you want to come? I'm like, the stars are aligned. This is it. I'm doing it. It even fits in well with my prior tattoo. And Brooke's been here for me for so long, and she pushed me to change earlier on. She really has supported me throughout this. So now, got her handwriting. I got my message. I got it. Thank you, Sean, for putting the thought in my head a little sooner than I thought it was going to be there, and for my sister for going that day to get the tattoos. It's just it's a reminder for me. I view my tattoos as either examples or reminders. Well, this one is a reminder because it's facing me. I get to read it every day. If somebody else wants to come read it from my perspective, they're welcome to. But for me, it's a tattoo for me to be vocal, to be that change. To even if I feel like I'm the smallest guy in the gym, I'm still gonna wear a vegan shirt. I'm still gonna put what I believe every day to be the best of myself and the best messages out there. So, anybody listening, you be the change. Be the change you want to see in the world. You have the ability to change so many lives. I like to think like how many people can you make smile today? And then go find one more than that. Like put it out there. Just be you, be kind to all kinds, but whatever be the change means for you, you'll know it. You'll know it. When I say the words, you'll think in your head, like, oh, this is what I want people to be like. I'm going to go be an example of that. So, Brooke, thank you. Sean, thank you.
Aw.
I think I know you got an event coming up. I got a meeting coming up. I'm about to go do the Publix no cow. Uh,
Yes, I gotta do that
what is
later.
that? I need to do that. I need to go be ridiculous in Publix trying to sell some no cow bars. But yeah, this has been a great episode one. Episode one, we did it.
Yeah, episode 1, I think be the change. That's really what Veganuary is all about. So that was an unexpected great tie-in.
It doesn't get better than that. Oh, I
Oh,
love that.
it was a little scattered, but we did it.
Okay, I'm gonna say,
I love it.
what was our outro last time? I think it was "Vegans Who Lift." We'll see you next time.
Yeah, and we do just wanna I would like to reiterate that me and John we never offer discounts, and so if you're watching this podcast or listening, make sure you take advantage of the 20% off our meal plans for Veganuary, and you'll get a one to save many shirt. And we want to invite our audience to submit questions and comments on veganswholivepodcast.com. So if you have a question about training, about going vegan, about all the juicy secrets going on in me and John's life, then submit a question or a comment and we will feature you on the podcast. And yeah, that's all I wanted to add.
Yeah, drop your name if you wanna be mentioned. Keep it anonymous if you don't. We will answer it as long as it's polite and kind. And yeah, I'm super excited to interact more with our audience. Thank you. If you've made it this far, an hour and 27 minutes in, you are the best. You are the change. I appreciate you. And yeah, share this, like this, rate it, do all the things. So,
Yeah,
all
we have a
right.
great season coming up. We have some awesome special guests. Our next episode, we're going to be talking about what it's like to compete and our experience and what all that entails. So definitely stay tuned for the next episode.
Yeah. Vegans who lift. We'll catch you next time.